All right. Hey, welcome to a new segment we're doing. And this is the Practical Wealth Small Business Spotlight. And so I want to start the spotlight every week, business owners doing some good things. And I have as my guest today, Danielle Donahue Bookkeeping Services. And we met at a networking event and we've had a couple of meetings and I like what she's doing. And I want to, hear about what to let her tell you because I'm gonna ask her to tell her about herself, and then we can get into some things that she finds out there that business owners are make mistakes they're making, things that she can help with, and I want her to tell you about it. So Danielle, tell me a little about what your background, which I thought was extensive from where you came from
Yep.
and what you do and how you can help people.
So I am a bookkeeper, but I'm more than just a bookkeeper. I have an actual accounting degree. I worked as an accountant. I did taxes. I worked on more complex things than just bookkeeping. I
Mm-hmm.
have the bachelor's degree in accounting, business administration. I was a double minor, and then I went back to school for marketing during the pandemic because I was just bored. But yeah, like so for right out of college, I worked at an accounting firm, a small accounting firm, 2.5 years. So I did like kind of everything, mostly taxes and tax planning, and then bookkeeping, regular work like every month. But I worked on audits. I did like everything, and that's one of the beauties of working in small public accounting firms is there's no department, so you have to do everything basically.
Right.
Like whatever the client is paying you to do, like sure, I'll
Right.
do it. So it's good for me because I got the experience. Like I know what needs to be done for your taxes, like how your need to look in order to get the taxes done. I know how to like properly document things, make work papers, all that kind of thing. I've worked in corporate accounting for a little bit. I've done government accounting. I worked at a larger firm too, that like had departments, so I just bookkeeping there. Yeah, so that's kind of my background.
And then you
And
decided to put out your here, tell them about your other background. You also were a successful real estate investor.
oh yes, yeah. So something I've always wanted to do was own a rental property. So I actually made that happen in 2018. I bought a rental property. And so I was pretty successful with it. I mean, like I'd have a lot of turnover with tenants. Tenants were very happy with me. And one of the big reasons for that was because I wasn't like a slumlord, I guess you could call it. Like every time I got paid rent, I was very like strict about things. So like every time I got rent, I got aside 10% into a separate bank account, and I had that for repair maintenance, and then I put aside another 10% into the capital expenditures savings account that I have, and then before that, where I paid the mortgage before I paid anything. So and I paid the mortgage after that, and then what was left over, that was like for me, I guess,
Right.
or any other expenses like QuickBooks, things like that.
So she ran. One of the things I like about that ran. She ran like a business. If you we line, we have a video called cash flow mapping, and when I talk to other bookkeepers, where I say, look, it's similar to profit first, and I say, look, I want you to have, four accounts, and they freak out. What? All they see is extra work, but which is not good for a bookkeeper because they don't want to do extra work. But she knows, this is where I like her on the other side, that in order to run a good business, you can't leave all your money in one account. You leave it in one account, you're gonna
Yeah,
spend it, right? You got to sort it
yeah.
out.
Yeah, I was very strict about things, and I track of things. Like, if something was repair maintenance, then I would reimburse. I would reimburse the expense. I mean, it was paid out of the checking account, of course, but I would do a transfer from the repair maintenance savings account that I have, and transfer that into checking. So, like something breaks or whatever happens, It's a big deal, and I get it fixed, and I don't even feel it. Like we get a blizzard. Okay, great. I mean, not great, but you know, it's
You
no
got
big
money
deal.
for the time. And
Like
so and you
I have
separated
it.
your money from
Yeah,
your job money, right? You had to separate
yeah,
all the money from the real estate went into one account and you ran your household stuff differently. I
right.
have so many
And the
people that
same
told
thing
me,
goes with, yeah, yeah. It's good to put aside the money.
right,
Like it. I mean, it's great to like have the extra money to do this, but like you have to be strict about it, because it's tempting to take the money and just kind of use it for cash flow. I mean, especially in this market, but it's one thing that really helped me to not have turnover. Like I would raise rents and I would keep the tenants. Like a lot of times, if he raises rents, then you have a turnover of tenants. But a lot of times, like I didn't, and people stayed with me because I wasn't a slumlord. But the expenditures, I mean, like that was perfect. I mean, I didn't have to replace a roof or anything, but I had that money set aside in case I did need to replace a roof.
right. That's right. That's right.
But it would be more so like after a tenant moves out after a couple of years of having a tenant, then we had to replace the carpet or so I would take it out of there.
So you would see, so a lot of
So
people would borrow for that, but you set aside money for capital expenditure. Let me flip.
yeah.
So I know you basically, when did you decide you want to do that? Because you majored in it in college. That's unusual. I
Yeah,
don't know
it
if it's
was
unusual, but
actually I'd say maybe like 18, 19 years old. I started watching I mean before then I was watching HGTV, but
hmm
it was really during that time, that was like the 2008 housing crisis.
right.
I just so many houses that were for sale, and it was so cheap, and I was so tempted just to like quit college and like buy a house, but I was like, no, no, like I could get a college degree. It's what my parents always wanted, So, but in the back of my mind, I was always like, I need to buy a house. I want to be a landlord. Like I don't want to depend on just my income from my job to be my only
Right.
source of income because I mean, look at the market back then. I
Yeah.
mean, look at the market
No, yeah,
now.
that's
Like
really
people
smart.
people are losing their jobs left and right. You depend on that always.
So let's talk about let's I want to talk about your you help. So why these are things I noticed. So I want you to give me your feedback off the top of your head. What
Yeah.
why do so many business owners do you think wait too long to hire a bookkeeper?
Uh, they wait until they have a problem a lot of times. Or maybe they'll hire somebody, but they'll hire somebody that's as cheap as possible. So I had that one time when I came in afterwards. So they had the previous bookkeeper they had was being paid like $18 an hour. I don't believe she had prior bookkeeping experience, although I didn't see her resume, but I know like it wasn't a good hire. Like she was doing drugs.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not a good
So
hire.
I mean, yeah, I mean maybe at the time you hired them you don't know, but I mean she just doing her job fully. There was months that went by, there was no sales tax payments that were being made, they
Oh
weren't
wow.
even being
They
filed.
get that.
Yeah. So, and it was the same thing with payroll because this business owner, like he was trying to cut costs wherever he could. So he used the payroll system, which is okay, but it's a little more than involved. So the liability is kind of on you because you have to make sure that you file the taxes, file the tax forms, actually pay the taxes, do all those things. And that was not being done. So it was just the employees were being paid, and that was it.
Mm.
So it was
So
a
this stuff
nightmare.
just piles up.
Um,
We had an event last night, our Profit Lab, and I my guest was Matt from Paychecks, right? And so he I Danielle there because he knows he just offers the service, but I wanted people to see why they need the service and they need to not do it themselves because it's not as expensive as people think it is, and you don't
Mhm.
have to run a
Yeah, it's really
paycheck
not.
every week, every 2 weeks. You can kind of set up the way you want to. Let me ask you still, because I want to talk about that. We'll come back to that later. What's the biggest financial mistake you see small businesses make that you've seen in with your current clients and in the past with the or other people you work with? Any one, two mistakes that you know?
So a lot of times they don't have like a plan for like how they want to spend their money. Like a budget. They're just kind of like live by the seat of the pants right now.
Right,
And
right,
it's like I try to encourage them like let's do a budget, like let's with it. And you know so I mean, one of my clients, like I've made up a budget for her, and then she doesn't use it. So like she they have like credit card debt, and like I've tried to explain to her, like you could borrow from the equity in your home, cheaper rate, pay off a credit card, and then after you pay off the credit card, most likely you'll get offered maybe a transfer fee, or the 0% balance transfer. Then you can use that to pay off something else, and it's cheaper kind of snowball your debt. But
right.
yeah.
Speaking, you got to be on it. You're saying that it's called debt free is not enough, and because getting at snowballing is just half the equation. But that's a good. But I think that they don't kind of fly by the seat of their pants. They don't pay
Yeah.
themselves. They don't take prop. They don't. So one of the things that I'm going to have her do is I have a system called cash flow mapping, but I need somebody that doesn't mind people having more than one account because I teach you to have an income account. You should have
Yeah.
a reserve account. You should have an account just for taxes. You should have an account for owner's pay. And you have an operating account. So that's four. And because you
Yeah.
have to tell your money where to go instead of asking where it went. So I'm more of a strategist, but I don't want to do the book. So I need somebody that's going to because financial literacy starts with you can't even do good tax planning, not tax prep, tax planning without somebody doing the books every month for you, right?
Yeah.
Which brings to the next question. So, what financial reports should every owner understand? Like
Um,
profit loss,
P&L definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tell
But
what a
I
P&L
so is short for profit and loss, which is
profit and loss.
basically your income statement.
Mm-hmm.
So that's important to have. But so I like to have it for no, so for the month to date, or not, I'm sorry, not month to date, like last month,
Yeah.
for like just 1 month, and then year to date, and then I like to do like month by month P&L, for so
Yeah.
that you can see like kind of where you are, like all the the peaks and
Yeah.
valleys,
Yeah.
which it's good to see, because then you can see like for budget, like, or just preparing, like, hey, we had a slow month last month, but it usually this month is busier, and then you can kind of see like to prepare for things financially,
Yeah.
like
They don't look at.
so
I find that people don't look. I'll look at. I want to know what I did. I like to do that. I like to know what I did. I want to every month. I want to beat what I did the month before
mhm,
in revenue or net profit, and then I want to look at where I was this time last year. Like so, you got to start somewhere, but now you
yeah,
get data, and now you can begin to see trends. Are you seasonal? Are you this and that? I don't think you just have to take it. So we did a marketing workshop. You got to learn how to get more business in, but you gotta know what's going on, right?
yes,
And
yeah.
that's where a bookkeeper come. You don't know what's going on. I have people that don't look at their stuff. I always saw this woman. I said, she don't even talk to the accountant. She got a partner. I says, well, I don't. How you gonna run a business? You don't know your numbers. Just
A
like
lot of people feel like it's kind of like going to the doctors, or like, I don't know, like going to the principal's office back, when we were younger in school. It's it's, oh geez, I'm in trouble, like, no, you're not, like, we're here to help you.
Help
Like,
you, yeah. What's the
yeah.
actually, what's the connection between clean books and making better business decisions?
Yeah, they're definitely connected. I mean, you don't have better decisions like by accident. Like,
Right.
you make better decisions because you know what is a profit, what is like profitable. Maybe you have a product or something that's it's flying off the shelves or something, or maybe it has a high gross profit
Right.
per item. Like, you want to be able to see all that. I mean, and you wouldn't know if you don't know your numbers.
Yes. You have to learn to read it. I was in the bar business and I brought an account. I didn't know my dad got sick. I didn't know how to read the numbers. He looked at my revenue and my cost of goods sold for liquor and beer, and he's like, "Dude, they're killing you." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And they were people
Yeah,
robbing me blind, but I didn't understand the numbers. So I
yeah,
couldn't tell. I took a crash course on inventory control because that was driving me crazy that I couldn't see it. And a lot of people don't. If you don't look at it, you definitely don't know. But
yeah.
you got to have somebody looking at it, and then you got to get a feel for your business. So I think you need somebody like Danielle in your life. Um, how does I'm gonna go flow through? I have a few questions. How does good bookkeeping? Because people say, well, it's a cost. It's not a cost, it's an investment, right? How does
Yes,
bookkeeping improve
exactly.
cash flow and profitability, in your opinion?
So, I mean, I would be able to pinpoint like ways to save money, or I mean, if your bookkeeper is really keeping up with things, they're doing bank recs and everything, they're able to see, hey, you were charged twice for a Zoom membership. That actually happened to me, one of my clients. And I let her know about it. Same client. So um, they were being charged twice for Amazon Prime membership. I mean, all these sorts of things, they're happening, and people don't realize what's clearing their account. They're just a lot of businesses. They're kind of living in the past. January, that's when they're clean up their books and get all their books done, and for the taxes. But if you're keeping up with them, I mean, then you're able to make sure that you don't get charged twice, and get refunded. Like, because I told my client about it, and I was like, hey, same thing happened with my dad. Like, he had actually, I think, yeah, he had two memberships, and I yelled at him for it because I said, I have a membership. You don't need a membership. So he canceled both of them, but he got the money back for like 6 months of one of his two memberships for Amazon. Like, but they're not going to give you your money back if you ask them like for 12 months behind, and like, they're no, not going to do that. So, I mean, it's going to save you money there. And then, like, so it's not just that, it's you'll be able to do better cash flow. I mean, I would be able to see opportunities. I would be able to be like, hey, maybe you should do an S corp election, which is something I would recommend for like maybe businesses that have like at least 50,000 in profit a year. It's for everybody. But so it could be like a sole proprietor business. It You don't have to have employees, but like, you once you do the S corp election, you have to run payroll for yourself. So, but it's a great way to save money on taxes. But in order to do that, you have to meet the deadline. The it's I forget when exactly it is in the year, but if you miss the deadline, you have to wait like a whole nother year, and it could save you a ton of money on
And so
taxes.
you need somebody to watch because that's me when I first learned about that, probably $10,000-$15,000 a year in taxes, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the thing. Let me ask you this: What is there one habit you can say today that you wish every business owner should adopt this month?
Habit.
I
Trying to
didn't
think.
prepare any of these questions, y'all. So
Sorry. I mean, like, it's I would say always check your bank account at least. Check, the activity on a daily basis of what's clearing your account. Like at a minimum, because like I said, like it could be, if you're not keeping up with your books, then like that's okay, I guess. It's not great. It's good to keep it up with your books, but at least if you're checking your bank account every day, then you're able to see, hey, like I overdrafted my bank account, and I better get some money in there, or like, oh boy, like what was that, did
Right. And if you catch it,
something
I used to get
unauthorized
banks that
happen?
would, out of courtey, waive the fee for me. You
Yeah,
know, they don't do
yeah,
as
and
much now, but you got to know how to talk to people. But I would get, $300, not $300, $35, $70 away.
yeah.
That's money
Yeah,
back in
it's
my
usually a
account.
$35 fee. And then another thing is, like if you're somebody that accepts checks as payments, then, you run the risk of having a returned check. So if you have that, then you not only lose the money that you were paid, that gets taken out, but then you usually get hit with like a $25 fee. So, like you don't want to keep on going without knowing like as soon as
And so you're
possible
watching that
that,
for them. Like if
yeah,
you're out and you're or whatever, you might not be in the office looking at this stuff like that. So you need
yeah,
somebody
yeah, and
to
you don't
watch it.
know to
Yeah.
look for it, or just
I got
how much
charged
at risk you
for
are.
what I have DocuSign. I got a $200 bill, and I realized, wait, how am I DocuSign bill $200 a month? And I'm going to switch to Adobe, which is like $25, right? But the thing is, I've seen it. This is what I get one of my sisters to do. We got to cancel this, right? Make sure this other one is working, and so that's the kind of stuff that you could help people with. Let's watch this. Because $2,400 a year if you can get the same service somewhere else, right? And so that every dollar that you save expenses is a dollar to your bottom line,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Um,
Yes.
what's the first thing you do when a new client comes to you with financial chaos?
Well, first things first, I like to make sure that the cash balance is accurate, because I mean, they say cash is king. But I mean, you need to know how much money that you have to work with.
Right.
How much money, like, do you have that you should have in your bank account, that because you have money that's gonna clear the bank, like a that's gonna clear, or a check that you wrote out on, that hasn't cleared yet. You have to allow for that in the bank. And another thing that, like, I really like, personally, and I recommend it to all my clients, is having a line of credit attached to your checking account, because that's an added security, to have that for overdraft protection.
Right.
My offers it for free. There's no fee associated with automatically transferring the money from the line of credit to your checking account. I know some banks, like my mom worked at a bank for most of her life, so they had that option, but they would charge a fee too, in addition to the interest that you're being charged on the loan. But so yeah, I would recommend like those things, especially like when I would take on a client,
Okay. I love
to
it.
get cash like straightened out right away.
Listen, let me, as we wind down, I want you to tell the people two things. Who's your ideal client, okay? And who should be sending you referrals? And then tell me how they can reach you.
Who understands that it's good to kind of have money in buckets. I call it buckets,
Okay.
like different bank accounts, because it makes it more complicated, but it's for you, and you'll sleep better at night. But like not everybody always understands that. So like I really like clients that own it, and they understand the benefits of it. But really, like any small business, that would be a good referral for me. I really like landlords, so I would love to have
Real estate
another
investment. Right.
real estate investor client.
So whether you have two houses or 20,
Yeah.
you are in
Yeah, it
that
doesn't
business.
matter.
You're a good bookkeeper for them.
Yes.
Okay, good, good. Tell them how to.
Yeah. So I mean, you can email me. So my email is Danielle Donahue bookkeeper at gmail.com.
Okay,
So
perfect.
it's a long email. I'm sorry. There's a lot of Danielle Donahue's out there. Or my phone number is 610-761-8529.
Are you on LinkedIn?
Yes, I
Yes.
am. I'm on
So
LinkedIn.
look her up on LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
also, and then reach out and see. Let's have a conversation with her and see how she can help you. And Danielle, listen. Any closing thoughts? I would thank you all for listening to the Small Business Spotlight with Curtis May. But Danielle, I'm gonna let you take us home.
So one of my favorite stories, actually, that I from when I first was an accountant, right
Mhm.
out of college. This saved somebody like $50,000 in taxes over their lifetime. So I just to tell this story. But so I was doing taxes for this partner that I worked for one of his clients, and I saw an opportunity that he's a very brilliant partner. You know, he didn't see it, nobody saw it, and so I brought it to their attention, and we ended up doing it for the client because they can find a reason to not do it. So anyhow, this had an NOL, which is a net operating loss. So it's
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of unfortunate you have one, but it rolls forward for until you use it. So I had them or I had the client to convert their IRA money, which is taxable, into a Roth IRA. No, it wasn't a lot of tax money or IRA money, but at least it was something. And then it completely tax free, and then it's able to grow tax free.
Forever.
So it was like a couple $100,000 in the IRA, but it's gonna grow tax free. It could potentially grow to like $1 million, 2 million, whatever,
Yeah.
and all tax free for the client. So like when I'm doing anybody's books, I do kind of look at the big picture, and I ask things like that. Do they have like an NOL? Like, do you want me to look at your taxes? So I'm more just a bookkeeper.
All right, I love that. So listen, reach out to Danielle, guys. We check out. We got a special channel on the Practical Wealth Show podcast for the Small Business Spotlight. This is actually my first episode, Danielle. So you're my inaugural
Oh,
episode. So reach out to her, and you'll be from her because I like what she's talking about. So a lot of times when I talk about the cash flow mapping, I tell people you need 4 accounts, right? And a lot
okay.
of bookkeepers freak out, but she likes it. That's why I like her.
No.
Okay, one, I mean I
Oh my
like
god,
her.
my
That's one
bank
reason I
hates
like her.
me.
Yeah.
My bank hates me because I literally have about 10 different savings
Yes,
accounts.
so do I. So um, all right,
They keep
listen,
asking
guys,
me.
go out there and make it a profitable weekend. We got to sign off, but y'all go out there and be profitable. Reach out to Danielle, and we will talk to you soon.